Welcome back, STRIVECast.
Welcome back to the STRIVECast. All right, Jeff?
Season 3, episode 46.
Whoa, season 3, episode 46. We are old, I think, right? All right. Welcome, everybody. Let's introduce ourselves.
Okay. NPT, homie. P, and a great, lively Noel Thompson.
A lively Noel Paul Thompson.
I liked the homie shrug.
Homie P, I think he said today, instead of G.
I'm going to say homie Wit, or homie Wit.
Okay. How about you introduce yourself, co-host?
What?
Why don't you introduce yourself to all the millions of people listening?
Hi, people. This is Jeff birthday week this week.
Okay, we've got the two hosts. How about our third co-host / producer extraordinaire?
That's right, Susie! Curio in the house.
And the host of Susie Q's is in the house.
And I'm Miss Wit.
Hello.
Susan Williams.
Back from assignment.
Back from the excitement.
All right. And our
so
sound and
happy.
video engineer.
I am Ryan, the sound and video engineer.
All right. Well, welcome back. We've got a big show ahead. Who's our guest today, guys?
Olivia.
Olivia. Or I should call her Miss Liv.
Yeah, Olivia from Planned Parenthood is our guest. So I'm sure we'll learn a lot about that organization.
Yeah,
and then we've got Susie's Q's, we've got Noel Tree, we've got Ask Jeff. We've got a packed show ahead. So what do you say? Should we get into it, or anything else you guys want to talk about in the welcome?
No, Pete, I just dive right in.
Dive right in? Okay. Then Jeff, why don't you take us to break?
Okay, Pete. We'll be right back.
We're back, and we have Olivia from Planned Parenthood here, and Noel is going to kick us off with the first interview question.
Welcome to the STRIVECast, Olivia. Tell us about Planned Parenthood of
Northern
New England.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you for having me. Again, I'm so happy to be here. So Planned Parenthood of Northern New England, the of Northern New England part is on there because Planned Parenthoods are all over the country. So I'm specific to the branch that works in Northern New England, which is Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. Massachusetts is not included because they have Boston. So they have like their own bigger sort of Planned Parenthood. We work with them, but I'm specific to Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. So what we do, kind of an overarching, our mission statement is to provide, promote, and protect people's access to sexual and reproductive health care so that they can make voluntary decisions about their life and their sex life and their reproductive life. What that looks like is a lot of different things depending on who you're talking to within Planned Parenthood, right? So like, I think when people think of us, they often think of the clinic and the medical stuff because that's what you see. If you're walking downtown, you might see a clinic, you might see, people working. That's a huge part of what we do is clinic stuff. But what I do as education program manager, which is my role, is the education side, which is people don't see as often unless sort of you call me to come in. So it's not something you could see on the street. You can see the clinics on the street. So I kind of work with both youth. I teach youth all kinds of stuff relating to sexuality, their bodies, relationships, birth control, consent, like all kinds of stuff. And I also, the cool thing about my job is I get to work with teachers and people that teach youth. So I get to teach them how to teach what they're already doing better. And it's, there's always more information to learn, right? No matter how much you know, there's always more to learn. So I get to work kind of with both sides. in that way. And I work with schools, high schools, middle schools. I work with community organizations. I've worked with Strive. I've come in pre-COVID and done in-person classes. We tried to do an online one, which I think went really well this year. I've also worked with Long Creek Youth Development Center, which is the juvenile detention center, online, hopefully in person soon. So there's a lot that we do in lots of different departments, but going back to the mission statement, what we do is provide, protect, and promote people's access to healthcare and knowledge so they can make decisions about their life.
Great.
Thank you for that. Jeff, you got the next question?
What is your role with organization?
Yeah, well, I think I kind of jumped ahead and I said that earlier. I can go deeper into that. I'm an education program manager. So that means I manage the program and I also do the educating. So I can decide what agencies to work with, or maybe an agency that I feel like doesn't know about the services we might offer. I can go talk to them and let them know what we offer and see if they'd want to work with us. So I do that kind of management side, the kind of boring paperwork side, but then I also get to do the fun stuff. I get to come into classrooms and teach. And then what I teach is very dependent on what that group of people need. So that's another really cool thing about my job. And as being the manager, I get to manage what I'm doing. I'm kind of my own boss. So I don't necessarily say, hey, let me come in and teach your kids about consent. I'll come in and say, hey, what do you think your kids need? Or can I talk to your kids? Can we do a survey and see what they'd like to talk about? And then I can design a course or some classes, presentations, workshops, things like that, depending on what people need. So there's a lot of flexibility in what I do, which is super cool. I get to kind of pick and choose what I think would be most useful. Yeah, so that's kind of a wordy way of saying it. But when people think of as an educator or a teacher, they picture somebody like in a classroom who has a subject they teach, people come in and learn. And that's not what I do. What I do is much more flexible and much more dependent on what the community is looking for. And I can team up with other teachers and kind of work with what they're already doing and make it better. Yeah, so that's sort of a wordy way of saying that I'm a teacher, but not in the way you think of teachers, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. Noel, you're back.
What is your favorite part of your job?
Oh, man. I love my job. My favorite part. Well, I think even though I do like the flexibility of being my own boss and kind of controlling stuff on the back end, the best part is working with people. The best part is walking into a room with people. Online has been okay. We've made it work and it's good, but there's nothing like being in the room together, you know? I love it when I get a chance. Sometimes I do a class and it's just a one-time thing. And that's great. That's fine. But when I get to see the same group of kids 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row, that's amazing because we get a chance to build relationships and build trust. And then some real kind of learning moments happen that's not always, possible if you just see me for 1 hour. If you can see me 1 hour every week for 6 or 8 weeks, we get to know each other. So I think that's the favorite part of my job is making connections with people and getting to know lots of people. And learning what different communities need, what different communities are not getting that I can help them to get. Connecting people to resources that maybe do exist, they just don't know about. So yeah, it's working with people and getting to know my community better.
Great, thank you. Jeff?
What is the hardest part of your job?
Ooh, good question. Well, I think my department, out of Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, there are 3 of us in the education department. So basically 1 per state. That's not a huge team. That's a pretty small team. And if you think about how big Maine is, I'm just 1 person. I live in southern Maine, in Portland. So kind of hard to reach the folks in northern Maine. Possible, but would be easier if I had, a staff of people with me. So I think that's the hardest part of my job is being a small team and then having having to sort of pick and choose what projects to prioritize, when I'd love to say yes to everybody. Like, yeah, we'll be at this school, we'll go to that school, we'll go to this school. But having to like delay things, say, I can't really talk to you for another 6 months, or like, that's not gonna be able to happen until next year. So having to, I try not to ever say no, we will not help you. I try to think of a way we can help you down the line or connect you with resources, but it's that having to say no or not now to people who are reaching out for resources. That's super hard. And that's just because we're a tiny team. But the good news is we're hiring another education coordinator for Maine this fall. So we'll be a team of 2, which doesn't sound like much, but it's better than 1. So there'll be 2 of us doing stuff all around the state. So that's the hardest part is trying to be everything for everyone, which, you know, we can't do, but we want to do.
Absolutely. Well, that's exciting that you're doubling. So.
Yeah, my department's doubling in size, right? Woo!
Noel?
What is something exciting you have been working on this year?
Oh, I think the bulk of what I've been doing this year in like the last 12 months has been trying to find innovative, fun, interesting ways to do what I do online. Because I'm sure you guys are all zoomed out. Like, we get sick of staring at a screen all day. When you teach sex, I teach sexuality. I teach about relationships and bodies and how, you know, biology of how babies are made and sexual response and all kinds of stuff that they're kind of sensitive topics, right? Like, it's kind of hard to talk about some of that stuff. A lot of that stuff, I would say, for youth, but adults too. It's hard for everybody to kind of dive into those topics. So if you don't have the personal connection that you get when you're in the room with somebody, it's a challenge to teach in an effective way that's interesting. Like, I want the folks in my classes to come away feeling good about the conversation, not that they just had to, you know, sludge through some boring presentation. So that's been a lot of what I've been doing this last year. And I would say that's kind of where I put the marker of the most exciting thing I've done this year, because we had a lot of in-person classes that we transitioned to online that I feel like have kind of opened doors we didn't realize were closed. Like one thing in particular I'm thinking of is our peer ed program, which previously had met in Portland at the Portland Library. And peer educators would come and we'd meet however many times a week and do this training and all this fabulous stuff. So we couldn't do that with COVID, right? We couldn't have it. So we put it online, which on the one hand, not as involving to be on a computer screen as it would be to be in a room. But on the other hand, I have 2 educators. One is in Kennebunk and one is in Pittsfield. So neither one of them would have been able to come to the Portland meetings. So having COVID and having to get creative with what learning looks like when we can't be in the same room opened some doors to like different populations further away in a state and a region as rural as Maine and New England. There's lots of people all over the place that are not a bus ride away from downtown Portland, right? So programs like that, which when COVID's over, wave a magic wand, it ends tomorrow, we're still going to offer peer ed online because it's just this whole thing that we just hadn't considered of the folks we're not reaching. You know, that's always the blind spot of like, what don't we know? Who aren't we reaching in any work? So that's been exciting to realize that the strange silver lining of COVID has taught us that, you know, there's other things we can be doing to reach new people.
Absolutely. We know that song and dance, right, guys?
Yes, you
All
do.
right. Jeff, you got the last real interview question, I believe.
How can people get your services?
Yeah, well, by my services, if you mean Planned Parenthood just generally, ppnne.org is our website. And that is kind of the whole agency's website. So folks can go get medical questions answered on a little Q&A section. You can schedule appointments for any medical, reproductive needs you might have, getting on birth control, getting exams, things like that. You can do right on the website. That's all very kind of clinic based, right? That piece of the website. But at the top of the page, there's an education tab. So if you were to click that, you would see all the things I just talked about, all the programs we've been doing. Our email address, which is education@ppnne.org. that is open to anybody. So teachers reach out to me via that. Students reach out to me via that. Sometimes to ask for, can you come to my class and teach? Sometimes it's like, I have this specific question. Do you know anybody who can talk to me? Or is there a book on this that I don't know about? So just kind of advice that way too. So that's a good way to get kind of personal contact with me as the educator. But then we also have this super cool chat bot. So it's not manned by a person. It's all just AI. The questions and answers aren't, this is perfectly smooth all the time. But it's cool because you can get some answers to all kinds of health and sex and relationship questions that people might not feel, super comfortable talking to adults in their life or friends about, or they just want some more information. And that's called Roo, R-O-O. So you can just pop in Ask Roo to any Google search, and that'll pop right up. And it's just an online, no app to download, just a little website pops up, and you can type in like, what's the birth control pill do? Or I think I'm pregnant, what should I do? Or am I in an abusive relationship? And it won't tell you yes or no, but it'll give you some resources, like some stuff to look up and to kind of guide your own learning on that question. So that's really cool for folks who might have questions and I can't be in the room with you and you're not in a place where you can talk to people, but you get answers now. Totally anonymous. There's no way that anybody would know you were on that looking for questions or looking for answers. So that's another way you can get the education department some information from us.
Cool.
Very cool. Okay, guys, it's time now for the lightning round.
19 rounds.
Nope. Here we go. And I almost said Noel, but it really actually Jeff kicks off the lightning round. So Jeff, would you like to go first?
And these are unrehearsed, just as a warning.
Okay.
You have a question, Jeff?
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't know any
How about
lightning
Noel?
round?
Go for it. Noel, you jump in.
Okay. If you're a superhero, what kind of powers do you have?
Oh, Lord. Powers of a superhero. There's so many good ones. Maybe the power of flight. To be able to, or like get teleportation, to be able to like get somewhere in lightning speed. Yeah, I think for my work that would be really useful. Other than a 5-hour car ride to Presque Isle, just like snap my fingers and be there. But I like to travel, just in my spare time. I love to travel, so that the ability to do that without having to go to an airport, I think would be pretty cool.
There you go. How about Susie? You got one?
Yes, I do. You have a cat or a dog?
I have a cat. She is 1 year old. Her name is Loretta Dorothy. We call her Lottie Dottie. She's a nipper. So to show love, she'll kind of bite you a little bit. And she thinks she's being playful, but she has little, her teeth are like little razors. Like they're sharp. But, she's trying to give you love by nipping you. So you don't want to like say, no, stop that, because she's being sweet. But yeah. I have to warn people when they come over. If she bites you, it's because she loves you. I'm sorry.
Right. Jeff, back to you. You ready? What
is your favorite workout?
Favorite workout? I really like yoga. Especially because I have a 6-year-old daughter and she likes yoga. So it's really fun to kind of do mommy-daughter yoga together because it's a kind of workout that all different, levels and experiences can kind of do together. So yeah, I think yoga is what we do most often. It's relaxing, it's fun. You fall over and you start giggling and get up and try it again. But yeah, being able to do it with my daughter is really fun.
Noel?
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say, would you rather live in a city or in the farm?
Definitely a city kitty. I love living in the city. Yeah, I don't know why. It's my family, my sisters, I have a sister that hates the city. Like going into it gives her immediate anxiety. And for me, I just feel at home. I like everything being in walking distance. I don't mind apartment life, having a neighbor above you and below you is fine for me. But for people like my sister, she's like, I don't want a neighbor within a mile of me. So, just funny, people are different, but I'm definitely city all the way.
Okay. Susie?
Oh, yeah. Summer or winter?
Summer. I would rather be too hot than covered in snow. There's nothing to shovel in the summer.
Right. And then Ryan, would you like to ask our famous question?
Tell us your best joke.
Oh no!
Always our last question.
You should have given me a minute to prep for that one. I don't think I have a joke. What's a good joke?
I'm sure that Noel or Jeff might be able to make one up for you.
I got one.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Coffee.
Coffee who?
I forgot to not drink my coffee because it spilled on the floor.
I remember one joke when I was little. I was like 6 or 7, and I thought it was so funny. I would be in tears laughing. And as an adult, I'm like, why is that? Why did I think that was funny? I would be knock, knock, who's there? And the answer is Mickey Mouse's underwear. And that's it. That's the whole joke. But when I when I was 6 or 7, it was the best. Tears down my face, falling on the floor. Mickey Mouse's underwear. It was so funny. So I don't know. Not that funny, but definitely a place in my memory is yeah.
Well, you've survived the gauntlet, and we really appreciate you taking the time to join us today on the STRIVEcast. So,
thank you so much. I love working with Strive in the past. I can't wait to work with y'all again. This has been great. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Right. Jeff, you want to take us to break?
Yes, Pete. We'll be right back.
STRIVEcast is brought to you by.
Your ad is right here.
Yeah.
It is right here.
Here!
Susie, how could it get to be here? What are they going to do?
Well, cause you guys can call or see the STRIVEcast reach out. Oh no, what world we live in, we should do this because we are living in Portland.
That's true.
Plus, in summer espresso is $50 for an episode.
For 5 episodes. You get 5 episodes for $50.
Episode.
There you go. 5 episodes for $50, right?
You get to be shown on that many episodes for
Yes.
$50.
As you can tell from the show, long reach, a lot of listeners and viewers and all kinds of things. So give us a call, send us an email, strivecast@pslstrive.org or 207-774-6278 if you'd like to advertise and have your ad where
Guys, right here.
right here. That's right. Okay. Then Jeff, want to take us to break?
We'll be right back.
It's time for Susie Cues. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's about black cat, yeah. Hats.
All right.
Yeah,
Susie's
what?
Cues.
Oh yeah.
Oh, black cats this week. Susie, would you like me to give a score update?
Please do.
Okay, here we go. So this is very, very close race at this point. We've got in first place with 91 points, Susie herself, 91, followed very closely Jeff and Ryan at 89, Whitney 88.5, and Noel at 88. And one thing we talked about was 2 weeks ago, Whitney had to host because I was off. So we talked about how is that fair if she can't compete, and she can't compete because she had the answers. So what we came up with as our team that we thought would be fair is that we would give her double points in one Q segment, and today is it. So
thank you, guys.
Whitney's points will be doubled today. So we'll see how she does.
Hopefully I know a lot about black cats.
I am not showing her down on this because I'm up and I'm ready to go.
All right. And before we dive in, Noel was asking in our production meeting if
is it random cats or is it television cats?
That's right. And when we discussed that this is actually about real black cats, so if you have a television black cat, this would be the time to share it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's a random.
I love you, Pete.
Thanks, bro. You too. How about Noel? Go ahead. No, Susie, Noel's got one TV black cat, I believe, that he'd like to throw out.
Where is it?
Salem. The one of the episodes, it was a human man.
What show are we talking about?
Melissa Joan Hart and Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Okay. And the cat's name is?
Salem.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Right.
he was really a human. Then he got a spell and made him into a cat.
Happens to the best of us.
And plus, I have a black cat also. And
A real one.
her name is Rosie.
Okay. Here we go. Rosie and Salem. One real, one not.
Rosie in Salem.
All right. Anybody else have any fictional or real black cats that they'd like to
Wasn't the
discuss?
cat in Hocus Pocus a black cat?
Yes, I love that cat.
What was his name, Whitney? I'll give you an extra point right now.
His name was Binks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't document that. Well, no points allowed, but good job. That was...
Stay focused here.
All right. Susie's, we got to train.
We gotta go. We're getting in trouble.
All right. Go for it, Susie. Take it away.
Okay. You're not in trouble with.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's about black cats true and false on honor of National Black Cat Liberation Day, which is today, actually.
Who knew? Okay, take it away. Number one.
Okay, number one. Black cats are thought of as good luck in some futures.
That's right.
Posters, I meant.
So, question one, true or false? Black cats are thought of as good luck in some cultures. Let's start with the ladies, and we'll start with Susie, our first place contestant right now. Go ahead.
I think it's true.
Okay, Susie is going true. Whitney.
I'm going to say true.
Okay, the ladies are in at true. Let's go to Noel.
True.
Noel's going with true. Jeff?
I'm gonna say true, Pete. Locked in.
True, locked in. All right, and Ryan?
True.
True. Everybody's on board with true, and good thinking, team, because it is true. Even though some Americans think black cats are bad luck, other cultures disagree. In Japan, they're thought to bring fortune. And in Germany, if one crosses your path from left to right, good things are coming. An English bride who gets one as a present will have a happy marriage. The French call black cats money cats, and they are thought to bring riches. And British sailors believed a black cat on board would bring them home safely. So look at that.
Okay, black coated cats may have
Yeah, black coated cats may have an advantage
advantage for survival.
Right.
Is that true or false?
That's right.
Two men on this one.
That's right. So black-coated cats may have an advantage for survival. Is that true or false? Black cats have an advantage for survival. Noel?
Well,
True. Okay. Ryan?
True.
Jeff?
I'm gonna say false.
Okay. Susie?
I think it's false.
Okay, so it's split so far. Whitney?
I think I'm gonna say true.
Okay, so we've got Noel, Ryan, and Whitney at true, Susie and Jeff with false. Guys, that one is true. Black cats are good night hunters. Scientists have discovered another reason it's good to be a black cat. The genetic mutation that gives them their black coat also gives them a stronger immune system and increased resistance to certain diseases like FIV, the cat version of it, HIV. Scientists think studying these genes in black cats may help them someday cure HIV, Alzheimer's, and even cancer.
Wow.
So apparently it is good to be a black cat. So that's a point for Whitney, which is actually 2 points for Whitney. A point for Ryan and a point for Noel. Okay. And we go to, this is actually our last one today, and it's a percentage, not.
Oh.
So listen up for this one. So how about Susie? What percent? How many points should we give them for this if they get it exactly right?
Think
5.
5.
5 points. Okay.
So 5 if correct.
Yeah, 5 if you get it exactly right, and then other than that, we'll go by Price is Right rules. Closest without going over gets 1 point.
Can you guess what percentage of cats are black?
Okay, so we're looking for a number between 1 and 100. What percentage of cats are black? Okay, so just to recap, 5 points if you get it exactly right, 1 point otherwise for the person who gets it closest without going over.
Is it how many black cats?
Nope. Well, yeah, sort of. Out of 100, how many would be black? 100. We surveyed 100 cats.
So the percentage of them, yes.
Yep. Okay. So like if they were all black, it would be 100%. If none of them were black, it would be 0%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So let's start with Susie.
I think it's 20.
20%. Okay.
One,
I think it's 40.
Okay.
2,
Jeff.
145.
145% of cats are black.
that's 3,
Okay. Ryan.
I would say 65%.
Okay.
4.
And Noel.
Okay, here we go. It is 10, 0, 0, 1.
You mean 10%, you're saying?
10,001.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Okay. I think we're a little confused on our percentages.
Oh, I think
It's got to be less than 100. Noel and Jeff will let you redo this. Okay.
70.
70. Okay.
Yeah,
Jeff.
60.
60.
I think Noel, Ryan's already said 60.
65, I said, though.
Oh, okay. So we're good. Well, I'm sorry to say nobody got it exactly right. And by Price is Right rules, the closest without going over is Susie. It is 30%.
Oh,
Yeah.
She's the only one that did not go over with 20. So there you go. 30% of cats are black. So Suze, if you want to do the outro, I'll do the math and we'll go from there.
Susie Q's. Everyone like Susie Q. And I win black percent of my black cat. Bam, what? Oh, yeah.
Black for Black Cat Day.
Right.
Okay, wow. It is a horse race here. All right, we've got, and I'll send these to you, Ryan, in just a second. We've got in first place Susie with 93, followed by Whitney with 92.5, followed by Jeff with 92, then Ryan with 91, and Noel with 90. So it is all within 3 points. So one big round, and it could go to anybody. So, and I think we've said that this contest is going to end, and maybe we'll start a new contest at the end of season 3. Does that sound right, Susie?
That sounds excellent, my friend.
We'll crown a champion at the end of at least the season 3 champion, and maybe we start over in season 4. All right, then Jeff, want to take us to break?
Yes, Pete. We'll be right back. Jeff asked me.
It is time for Ask Jeff, and here we go. Jump right in. Our email this week is from Roger, and he's from Dallas, Texas.
Whoa!
Listener.
Whoa!
Roger writes, "Dear Jeff," and if you want to send us or Jeff an email, you can do so at strivecast@pslstrive.org. pslstrive.org. Just put Ask Jeff in the subject, and here we go. Roger from Dallas writes, "Dear Jeff, would you rather drive a train or train wild animals?"
Well, trained by dinosaurs.
Train dinosaurs. That would be a tough job, wouldn't it?
Nice.
Yeah.
Job.
Okay. And then Roger writes, "What would another funny job be?"
I'd like to train animals.
Okay. And particularly,
you were training dinosaurs.
Training dinosaurs. Okay. Anybody else?
I'd like to have. What about be a trainer at a bookstore?
Trainer at a bookstore. Okay.
What do you train at the bookstore?
To time people how they read speed wise.
I'm gonna teach people how to speed read. Okay. There you go. Another training one. Susie, how about you?
I could train this one to be train her as a look at her phone.
You can still go.
Train her to look at her phone?
I'm still
Not to look at her phone.
Mrs. Whitney?
Yes. She's under you, Pete.
Oh, well, I probably wouldn't be the one to train her that.
Okay.
He's on a Zoom call. Okay, so I think we've decided that we would all rather train people or animals or dinosaurs to do something rather than drive a train. Anyone vote for drive a train?
No.
What about if you become
with documents and all that sort of stuff?
Not the driver, but putting the wood in the fire competition.
Yeah, and I don't know if they actually do trains like that anymore that are like steam locomotives that they have to stock with wood or anything. But I don't know the answer to that. Maybe one of our listeners can tell us.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, thanks to Roger, who might be our furthest away questioner to ask Jeff thus far, all the way from Dallas. So, Jeff, anything else from your segment?
No, Pete. I am great.
Okay. And you want to take us to break?
Sure. We'll be right back.
It is time for Noah Tree. Yay! Noah Tree. Okay. So, if you know, once a moose, always a moose. But if you don't see the moose, why is it running to a cow who eats grass? Then when he gets to the grass, then he will jump over the moon. Then the piece of the moon becomes a cookie for Cookie Monster. Then they somehow landed in a sty and having coffee at the Coffee by Design in Portland and having fun there.
Wow. Thank you, Noel.
You're welcome.
That's a lot to dig out there. What's the messages in that this week? What's all that mean?
That means if you have to pick you up, to make it nice and fresh, land forward and straight through the head. And land forward straight through the head and be nice and ready before you come on doing your day.
So once a moose, always a moose? What's that got to do with?
The moose was pin the nose on a ribbon.
Pin the nose on a ribbon. All right. This is like real poetry for me. I'm getting further and further.
Yeah.
I guess this is real poetry, I should say. But... Okay. Guys, anybody have questions for Noel about his poem?
No.
What was this one titled, Noel?
The title was How Can Animals and Humans Can Stay Nice and Completely Fresh and learn how to be more step by step to and be nice relationship with and be straight through the time to be the right friends that they wanted to be and showing the right path to go on forward.
Wow, your title is almost as long as the whole poem.
Yeah.
I like that they go to the Coffee by Design in Portland.
That's right. Shout out to the Coffee by Design. Okay. Susie, Jeff, Ryan, any questions or critiques for Noel?
No.
All right. I guess that's Noel Tree for today. Noel, anything else for your segment?
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay. Then Jeff, let's take us to break.
Okay. We'll be right back.
STRIVECast is brought to you by
Listeners like you.
Ryan.
Margie Linder.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yes, and thanks for listening.
Thanks, Margie.
And if you listen, just leave us a comment or share or like our social media posts or write us something about the podcast, and you could be the listener of the week as well. So thanks. Jeff, you want to take us to break?
We'll be right back.
Wrap it up, let's do it. Wrap it up, let's go in. Susie Wiles, let's wrap it up, oh yeah.
All right. Wow. That was good. Now Noel is doing an interpretive dance if I wrap it up. For those of you that are listening on our audio only channels. And of course, a reminder, if you are listening on our audio channels, you can find our you can find a video of this, I should say, on our social media pages, YouTube, Facebook, and more. So, all right, Noel, what are we going to do to wrap it up?
Oh yes, Kevin on the Roof and a 5K race.
That's right. Those are both coming up. Exciting events for us in September. September 18th, 5K, hybrid style. You can do it both, either in person or hybrid. I guess you could do it both, actually, if you wanted to as well. Find out more on our website, pslstrive.org, right?
Yeah.
And then, Whitney, you want to talk about Kevin on the Roof?
Yeah, so Kevin on the Roof goes up the roof of Patriot Subaru in Saco Monday, September 20th. And this year, Kevin's goal is $50,000. So more.
Is that
Wow.
What's that?
Is that before the 5K or after?
It is right after the 5K. So the 5K is that weekend, and then he goes up on Monday. So more on that to come, including how to help Kevin get off the roof. But feel free to come visit Kevin and the Strive team at the roof for many days after September 20th.
I really
Monday,
do that.
Oh, what's that?
And keep in mind, if you can find out all kinds of more information about that, as well as watch a live stream at helpkevinhelpstrive.org. All right. Anybody else?
We have the Strive auction in
Yes, that's
October.
That's right. Coming up in October.
Right.
So virtual and then maybe still in person, depending on where things are with the current.
Yes, definitely. A lot of auction items will be online for 1 week, starting on Wednesday, October 27th. And stay tuned for more details as we get past our other events. We're getting into our very busy event season.
And Strive is still hiring.
That's right. We are still hiring. Great point, Ryan. We are hiring, and we do have everything from part-time to full-time to per diem hours available. Essentially, since we operate residential programs as well, we have positions that are available 24/7. So come and check that out.
Is it?
.org/employment. Or email us at jobs@pslstrive.org. Okay. We will throw out that next week we'll be back to a team of 7 on the STRIVEcast as we have
Olivia.
our new and program coordinator Alex will be joining us. Alex Woodhouse. So we're excited for her to join our podcast family. All right. So thank you to all of our listeners. Be sure to share this if you're still listening. Thank you. And guys, when will we see them next? We'll see them next
week.
Okay. Then goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, babies.